This is chapter number 2, What, Where, How and When, part 2. Let's start. Before watching this video, please subscribe my YouTube channel Sabki Pathshala and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you never miss an upload and get a notification as soon as a new video is posted. Let's start. Today I am going to teach you why do people travel nowadays. The hills and high mountains, deserts, rivers and seas made the journey of ancient people dangerous at times. But why did people travel in those days? These are the reasons they used to travel from one place to another. For livelihood, people traveled to different places in search of livelihood. To escape from natural disasters, they moved from one place to another to escape the natural disasters like drought or floods. To capture lands, at times men marched in groups and armies to conquer lands of the others. For example, like Akbar. He used to march in groups and armies to conquer lands of the others. For trade, the merchants, the businessmen also made their trips carrying valuable goods in ships from place to place. For the business purpose, the merchants also used to travel from one place to another. To preach. Religious teachers also traveled. They moved from village to village, town to town, and stopped on the way to guide and advise people for the sake of religious education. For adventure. Do you know who is Vasco da Gama? Yes, Vasco da Gama was an explorer. Some people traveled with a spirit of adventure. They wanted to discover new and exciting places like Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama was an explorer. He had explored India. Next, impact of these movements. The movements of people had the following impacts. First, people shared ideas among different people that enriched our cultural tradition. People usually shared ideas among different peoples and they developed our cultural traditions. Second, over a period of several hundred years, people have shared new ways of cutting stones to produce a design on the surface, composing music and even cooking food. These are the impacts. Now, how was our country named India and Bharat? India. About 2500 years ago, the Iranian and Greek came here through the northwest. They were familiar, they were well known with the river Indus. They called it the Hindus or the Indus. The land of the east of river was called India. India is situated in the east side of river Indus. Thus the word India comes from the Indus. Bharat was used for a group of people who lived in northwest. They are mentioned in the Rig Veda. Rig Veda was the earliest composition, about 3500 years old, in Sanskrit. It was written in Sanskrit language. Later this name was used for the whole country. So बाद में ये भारत के नाम से जाना गया. Hindu. The word Hindu also comes from the Indus. The river Indus was called Sindhu in Sanskrit. The Iranian and Greek also called it Hindus. Next, what are the main functions of archaeologists? Archaeologists study the remains of buildings, sculptures and paintings. They also explore, they excavate to find tools, pots, pans, weapons, ornament and coins to find out what people ate in the past. They look for bones of animals, fish and birds. Now come to finding out about the past. The various archaeological sources can be categorized as follows: remains of building or monuments. Do you know what is ancient monuments? Yes, any structure, building, or site that is of historical, archaeological, or artistic interest and is not less than 100 years old is an ancient monument. It may either be buried under, as in the case of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Do you know Harappa and Mohenjo-daro was found under the ground? Yes. Or it may be still standing like the Red Fort of Delhi, Taj Mahal in Agra, etc. Monuments may be in the form of temples, forts, palaces, stupas, monasteries, etc. They provide useful information about the development of art and architecture, as well as the social and economic life of the people of the time when they were constructed. Look at this monument. This is the Sanchi Stupa, Madhya Pradesh. It is situated in Madhya Pradesh. Sanchi Stupa. And you also know Taj Mahal, Red Fort, etc. These are also a monument. Come to the next point. Coins. Coins, the study of coins is known as numismatic. Coin tells us about kings, the extent of their empires, their kingdoms, dates, languages that were in use, trade, art, religions, and literary skills of a particular time. For example, the coins of Samudragupta shows that he was an efficient veena player. Look at this picture of coin. These are the coins of Samudragupta reign. So, it tells us about his quality. He was an efficient veena player. Come to the next slide. Other objects. Archaeologists find out, explore and unearth tools, weapons, pot, pans and ornaments by digging under the surface of the earth. These objects may be made of stones, bone, baked clay or metal. Archaeologists also look for the bones of animals, fish and bird to determine the food of the early man. The plant remains such as seeds of grains or wood are rarely available. Manuscript. What is manuscript? Manuscript is the book that were written by hand long ago are called manuscript. This word comes from Latin word manu, meaning hand. Usually two types of material were used for writing manuscripts: palm leaf and a special prepared bark of a tree known as birch that grows in the Himalayas. These manuscripts are in the form of epics, poem, plays. They were written in Sanskrit, Prakrit, language of ordinary people, and Tamil. Sanskrit was a language of ancient people that days. Now, inscriptions. These are writing on relatively hard surface. What is inscriptions? These are writings on relatively hard surface. Example, stone, metal, or can be on paper also. Anything can be inscribed. They generally conveyed king's order, their deeds, their preaching, etc. Look, this is the inscription in Brahmi script and Lumbini. It is inscribed on Ashoka pillar. King often kept record of victories in battles as inscriptions. So they usually kept records of victories in battles as inscriptions on pillars, stones, etc. On the other hand, ordinary men and women did not keep records on what they did. They were generally poor, illiterate, and unaware of their advantages. The study of inscriptions is known as epigraphy. Decipherment is the process of reading and understanding the scripts using the inscriptions. Script consists of sign or letters. Look at this picture. This inscription is written in Brahmi script. So, scripts consist of sign or letters. One past or many. The past was different for different people. For example, the lives of king were different from those of farmers. Farmers led very hard lives, whereas kings led lavish lives. Kings often kept records of victories in battles. They got their orders inscribed on stone or metals. We know much about kings. In contrast, ordinary people like farmer, hunters, gatherers, herders were too busy to earn even 2 square meals for themselves. They were unaware to keep records of what they did. Moreover, as is true even today, people follows different practices and customs in different parts of the country. These are the important words: archaeology, historian, inscription, manuscript. What is archaeology? The study of human history and prehistory through the excavation of sites and the analysis of artifacts and other physical remains are called archaeology. What is historian? A person who studies about the past is called historian. Inscriptions, a thing inscribed as a monument or in a book is called inscription. What is manuscript? A book or document written by hand, generally on palm leaves or on bark of a birch tree. 8,000 years ago, the development of agriculture started. 4,700 years ago, the first cities developed on the banks of river Indus. 2,500 years ago, a large kingdom of Magad and the cities on the bank of Ganga emerged. So, that's all for today's video. Thank you.